Got no idea what we'll see in Legacy. We know he's playing Storm there, but he's going to start things off here with an Evolving Wilds. Bloodstained Mire will be sacrificed here for Outland. He's searching up a mountain. You can get a better look at that mono red deck list there, my friend. Look for the spice. Those hammer hands are in there.
Yep. And, you know, this is to indicate how little respect this has. No copies of Nyx's Ram in Gym 75, and that's a card that's been in essentially every blue-white control list I've seen since the card got printed in some number. But there's so few decks like this that Jim is not even bothering.
It's a different time.
Going with something like Burmaz instead, which is still okay in this matchup, but I don't think as powerful as Nyx's Ram. Stoke the Flames being the big reason why.
He does have Omen Speaker.
Omen Speaker's very good.
It's actually, yeah, quite good.
Very good.
That's the nicest anyone's ever spoken about Omen Speaker.
Well, in this matchup, I mean, I've taken some losses to that card.
Going to sacrifice the Delta Will Davis. He's down to 19. And Island is incoming. Selection of Invasion basics.
Yes.
Do you approve?
Yep, that Plains is quite iconic.
Here's a copy of Last Breath. That'll take care of the Fire Drink Crusader right away. Pass the turn back over to Outland, who will draw. Mountain there. It's Monastery Swift Spear. Followed up with the Dragon Mantle. Trigger.
That's combo.
In a way. It's not a combo.
It's like Ataxium Probe, kind of.
We'll head Jim's way.
Yeah, it's Jim's turn.
Yeah. So he does have a Radiant Fountain in his hand.
But I believe he may be without double white for the Burmaz in his hand.
I see a Flooded Strand.
He's got a Flooded Strand.
Yep. I was thinking the same thing, actually. Just trying to figure out where to go now.
And now a question is, if you're Jim, are you willing to just trade your Burmaz for the Swift Spear if Ben has a land next turn? Or do you pursue a different line of play?
Well, first things first, going to sacrifice a Flooded Strand. As much as I bet Jim wishes he could search up a Tundra or a Hallowed Fountain, he's just going to have to get a basic Plains instead.
Oh, I don't think he wants a Hallowed Fountain. I think he would take a Tundra. I don't think he wants a Hallowed Fountain.
There's Burmaz, daring Outland to have a card like Stoke the Flames at this point. Bank on an untap.
Even Hammerhand's not shabby.
Yeah. He will draw a card.
But Burmaz is definitely a problematic card for mono red.
That's the roadblock. It can win the game all by itself. We've seen it do it before. Outland going to start by playing a Wooded Foothills. Let's see what else he wants to do on this turn. Very methodical.
So these fetch lands are not just for thinning in Ben's list. His sideboard does contain a Forest and 3 copies of Destructive Revelry.
Okay.
Also playing 1 copy of Temple of Abandon to that end. So the lands are pretty close to free and do enable some attractive sideboard options.
Oh, here's the attack.
So Ben is saying, I can just trade this with your Burmaz. I think Ben is, Jim rather, is incentivized to trade here because he has Dig Through Time in his hand. So all other things being equal, I think that he wants to just trade here, but it looks like he's saying no blocks.
Do your worst approach. I'm going to start by sacrificing Fetchland.
I mean, this could be a lot of damage coming across here if Ben's hand is flushed with burn spells and Titan strengths.
He's going to go get the Forest. So that must mean Revelry's in his deck after sideboard.
There's no other green card that I can identify, so.
There is Titan Strength. You mentioned this could be a lot of damage this turn.
And this is the problem. If Ben just dumps a lot of spells onto the table this turn, Jim may take a lot of damage. And then if Ben transitions to a burnout plan, it doesn't really matter that Jim has a Burmaz in play. Then the game's about, can you find life-gaining counter spells?
Lightning Strike as well. So yeah, he's just going to do as much as he can this turn.
So this looks like 10 points of damage coming across. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9.
I count 9, yeah.
Yeah, 9.
Which is no joke, as Davis is down to 7. Davis will draw the Tranquil Cove. Now, the thing that makes this matchup interesting to me is that Jim has these lands that gain life.
He's got the Radiant Fountain as well.
Yeah.
And that might have been the tipping point for Jim to say no blocks last turn.
Yep.
He feels like these life gain lands may give him enough staying power where he doesn't want to lose his Burmaz.
And just block with the token every turn or something like that.
Yeah.
Jim doing a little bit of math. Again, he does have a copy of Banishing Light in his hand. Curious if he has any interest in casting that here. Does he want to play a card like Tranquil Cove, or would he prefer to play Radiant Fountain? He will go with the Cove. He's up to 8.
He would like to get double blue online because he has Dig Through Time in hand.
I do wonder exactly the best way to go about using this Banishing Light. Looks like he's going to cast it here. Yep.
I would try to not get too fancy here. Ben's unlikely to overpower through this Burmaz unless he kills it, at which point he's playing right into your Dig Through Time. So
4 mana, Stoke the Flames. It's going right upstairs, not messing around. Puts you to 4.
And this was the risk of the no blocks line of play for the previous turn, is Ben may not have any interest in attacking for the rest of the game.
Well, that Radiant Fountain is pretty important because he's going to go up to 6 now. Get you for 5. Matt's going to try to win the race. And for Davis, it's so important for you to draw counter spells. And fortunately for him, he's got a lot of them. Disdainful Stroke, Nullify, Dissolve. Some are better than others, of course, but
yeah, the question is how much of that stuff is really left in his deck?
Yep.
Because against mono red decks, typically those are among the first cards to go.
Well, you can see the Dissolve in his hand right now. He's also got that Dig Through Time too.
Is he willing to risk it? I mean, if he digs through times here and Ben has 2 copies of Lightning Strike, that's just it.
Puts you to 3. Doesn't have the second one.
Well, this could be a really sick slow roll.
That would be that would be a horrible thing to do to someone.
Have you resolved your dig through time? All right, second Lightning Strike.
Jim has actually found at least 1 copy of Radiant Fountain, maybe 2.
Oh yeah,
he's taking them both. Oh yeah. Quick untap and a draw. Get you for 6, puts you to 7.
Lethal next turn.
Yep. Go to 5 with Dissolve in hand. Pass it back. These life-gaining lands have played a huge role.
Well, Jim's at 5 and he's gained 5, so yes. I would say they played a really big role.
Outland gonna draw. I don't think he has anything he can do here. He's swinging those 2 cards back and forth. He's just going to pass the turn. And Davis is not even going to... He has no reason to cast anything. He's going to play this Radiant Fountain, go up to 7. It's a tie game.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it is. Here's Stoke the Flames. Going to go after Burmaz. Somebody have a Dissolve? Yes, sir. That'll take care of that. And this will take care of the match. Jim Davis going to win this match over Ben Outland. 2-1. Blue-white control takes down mono-red aggro, and Davis moves on to 9-2. 1 step closer to the elimination rounds.
That was a great game to watch.
Yep.
Really dramatic. I mean, for usually mono red versus blue white, it's the mono red deck is out in front early, and the blue white deck slowly tries